Cold wind blowing, shadows growing, creepy creatures in the night they're showing. Wee whispers filling up my mind, spooky shivers running.
Alright, I'm just gonna count to 3 and then we'll start.
Easy as, bro. Let's do it. That light came on again. Is that an issue or not?
No, it's fine, it's fine. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Shivers podcast. I'm Ben, and today I'm joined by Mr. Riley Caudry. How you going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad yourself, mate.
I'm good, thanks, bro. So we've got Riley on this week, and probably for the foreseeable future. Ethan's going to be taking some time off. No, I'm kidding. He'll be on every now and then, but I think from now on Riley's going to be the other co-host.
The better replacement, if you will. Them some fighting words, yeah.
Yeah, so today I've got Riley on and we're going to be chatting about the Resident Evil series.
Fuck yes, I'm so excited. One of my favourite all-time game franchises, for sure.
Yeah, it's up there for me. So we're going to be talking about the games, the movies, and whatever else comes to mind.
Just all media associated with the franchise.
Yeah, I don't know how much media there is other than those two. I don't know if there's any books or anything.
Yeah, there were a couple of graphic novels, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. There'd be some mangas or something, though.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
There was a bit more research on that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think there might have been a TV show as well on Netflix. I think. I don't know.
There is a TV show on Netflix. Can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah. So, alright, I'll start it off. What was your first experience with Resident Evil, the series, or the whole franchise in general?
I'll kick this one off because it might be a bit controversial. So, my first ever Resident Evil game wasn't actually, in fact, Resident Evil 6. Absolute fire game. Don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. And how old were you when you first played it?
Oh, about like 12 years old, I think I was when I first played Resident Evil 6.
That's so funny. Everything about Resident Evil 6 screams like a 12-year-old writer, bro. Like,
Shit, yeah.
everything, bro. Like the giant fucking... What's his name? The big giant motherfucker.
Or the USSR tank or whatever.
Yeah, him. And then the fucking Leon's campaign at the end where you fight like that giant zombie dinosaur, whatever the fuck.
Shit was logged, bro.
And then in Chris's campaign, you end up fighting that like giant BOW. That was actually pretty sick. I fucked with that one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Watching Pierce use his lightning and shit.
Yeah. What was my first game?
Yeah, go on.
I think it was probably RE5. I think. Well, I played it fully, the first one. Because like my old man, he played all of them as they came out and whatever. And then when I got my first Xbox, Ethan, we shared the Xbox, so we had to both decide on the same game.
Same game, yeah.
And then, so we're going to the local EB, and then we saw RE5, and we watched Dad play it a few times. So alright, we'll grab this one then. And then, bro, we played it start to finish, bro, because we played split screen. It was so good on the first playthrough, but I know it's dumb as fuck. Like if I got to replay it now, it's like, oh my god. And I think the only reason I enjoyed it was because I played it split screen. Same with RE6. We got that one straight after we finished RE5, and obviously I only enjoyed that because it was 2-player.
You know what? Fair enough.
And it's so hard to go back to now because I play by myself and I'm like, this shit just sucks.
It sucks, mate. Yeah, the nostalgia ain't saving this title.
It's so bad. But then I think when I was around that time, I found out there was movies and I was like, oh fuck, alright. I was probably about 12 as well. I was like, fuck, alright, cool. So I watched all of them start to finish, and fuck me, they're terrible as well. We'll come back to the movies because
We'll get back onto those.
we'll come back to that. But fuck.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, on I think my 13th or 14th birthday, I got a PS Vita.
Oh yeah.
And then I was on the store and I saw the original Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, alright, I'll give this a go. And holy fuck, bro, the patience you need for that fucking game. Because every time you die, it takes you back to the fucking...
before you saved.
Yeah, all the ink ribbon bullshit. Yeah. And the controls were a little bit fucked because it was on a...
Yeah, fucking tank controls.
Well, it's not even that, it's just the fucking console was like 2 hands wide. But I did end up completing it because I watched like a speed run and then a walkthrough and I got it, and fuck me, bro, it was so good. And then I probably didn't touch the Resident Evil series until Resident Evil 7 came out.
Yes.
I'll let you take the wheel here because I know you got a lot to say about Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7. Where do we even begin with that? Besides, it's a fucking masterpiece.
Hell yeah, bro.
Man, like, just seeing like the teaser trailer when it first came out, and
Yeah.
that like demo, I was like so excited after the massive disappointment, which was 6.
Yeah.
And then literally just this first person, bloody, you know,
That would have been a huge shock to everyone, I assume. I
change
wasn't
perspective, yeah.
I wasn't like big into like trailers and launch titles, like all that shit, all the upcoming games or whatever. So I didn't I wasn't up to date with the trailers and whatever. So I only
So you went into the game blind, essentially.
Yeah, completely
Just had
blind.
no fucking prior knowledge.
Nah,
No,
nothing
that's
like
probably
that.
the best way to do it, because that game is insane. Like the first 10 minutes, you get your fucking
Yeah.
arm stabbed with the fucking screwdriver.
Yep.
And then you get chainsawed and then you pick
Yep.
it up and start shooting the bitch with it.
That was so funny,
I was
bro.
like, damn, I'm so keen to keep playing this.
Yeah, they had me.
Shit definitely revived the series, if you will.
Oh, 100%. Actually, sorry. I think the highlight for me was when the peak of my excitement for the series was on the 3DS Resident Evil
God.
Revelations, bro.
Oh, you know what? I fuck with Resident Evil Revelations.
It's not bad, bro, because it was. I think it might have been a launch title for the 3DS. I think, and it had the same controls as Resident Evil 4, because it was concurrent with Resident Evil 5 or 6. It came in between
that
them.
generation of controls.
Yeah, but then they went back to the RE4 controls because there wasn't a second stick.
Joystick on the 3DS. No, that's fair.
But bro, it was so good to play, and I played that start to finish, and it was so good, bro. And I just downloaded it on my PlayStation, and I'm gonna play it again, just quietly. But Revelations 2, hot garbage, bro.
Yeah,
That game can fuck right off.
I didn't when that first came out. I didn't really understand what was happening with the chapter bullshit. That was it was free, and I was like, oh sick, I'll install it.
Yeah.
Got maybe a couple hours in, and then it was like, cool, see you for the next chapter. I was like, what the fuck? Just release the whole game at once.
Well, that's funny. So on the 3DS, right, that has chapters as well, but
Oh,
it's released as one game. There's not like.
It was sequential.
Yeah, so they're about 20 minutes long each chapter, and then immediately would snap cut to the next chapter, and it would say previously on, and it would just read back the last 20 minutes.
Recap the last 20 minutes of gameplay.
And then, so episodic games were popular at the time with Rev 2 and Rev 1. So you got The Walking Dead, and all the Telltale games and whatever. But the reason episodic games were big were because the publishers could release games as they were developing them.
Yeah, the demand was too great.
But Capcom, bro, they had the money. They could have. The game was done.
Yeah.
It was finished. They just refused to release it as one,
There's one full experience.
which boggles my mind. And I've tried to go back to it, at least once.
Yeah,
And you have to purchase in the individual chapters, and I'm like, no, fuck, it's too much admin. The game's not that great.
oh, literally.
I'm not paying fucking $15 an episode.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
Definitely not.
But I just got the first Revelations. It was $6. It was a discount.
Oh yeah, cheap.
Bro, I'd pay full price for that. It's that good. So yeah, let's jump back to Resident Evil 7. I played that blind. Ethan played it before me. Obviously, again, we shared the same Xbox. So he finished it before me, and I refused to watch because I wanted to go in blind.
Yeah, you want a full experience.
So then I picked it up straight after him, and bruh, holy fuck, that game is
Start
peak.
to finish, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's not a single second in that game where I'm bored or fucking confused. It's got me start to finish, bro. It's that good.
Oh, it was a fabulous experience playing that game.
I wish it was longer because
Same.
I think you can knock it out in 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5.
Yeah. I've seen some of the speedruns. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
No.
But then I haven't touched the DLC stuff. There's a Chris episode.
Yeah,
I think.
you play as. I know one of them. You play as the Jack Baker's brother.
Oh, okay.
The father of the family.
Yeah.
You play as his brother, and you start punching alligators, and you try to save Zoe or something.
That's some Resident Evil 6 shit.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was a fun DLC.
Yeah. Okay.
and then they had all like the those games, the card game.
Oh,
And then, when you lose,
yeah.
you get fucking like your head chopped in half by this big saw. And
Yeah.
then blackjack, I think it was.
Yeah, I remember watching those on YouTube, bro. I'd watch like the full, fuck, what do you call them? Like a
Roulette shit.
no, like a long play. They'd play it start to finish.
Oh, you would just sit there and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And the winner is Clancy.
Yeah, man.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
That was really good.
The mini hand guillotine as well.
Yeah.
Pretty insane. But no, yeah, the DLC was good. And then you remember the Marguerite Baker one where you go like try and escape?
Oh, that's
the room?
fast. We like in the bed, and then
Yeah,
she like
it's
keeps
like-
coming in and out.
Yeah, and then she's
Bruh.
like, "Don't eat your fucking supper."
That's so good, bro.
Oh yeah, that shit. Nah.
Oh, 100. That's probably one of the best DLC bundles I've seen in a game. Not to suck a stick too much.
Nothing but praise for that game, eh?
100, bro. I know. I've been looking into the development of RE7, and how I think it was the Revelations game that led to the change of direction of the series.
Definitely. I can see why.
Because like obviously the path for the Resident Evil 4 set was like a bit of a goofy like action adventure whatever
Yeah.
with the side of horror.
Yeah.
And then 5 and 6 just turned it up to 11, and then Resident Evil Revelations came out and it kind of took it back to like the roots of like survival horror. And then yeah, the same guy, I think it was the same guy who did Revelations 1 worked on Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, right.
And then the whole studio was like, this is it, this is what we want. And so they went from there.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you were mentioning like the development and how like, you know, it became less serious because
Yeah.
I saw a theory, I think it actually might be true though, but like when they were developing the first three, like they obviously didn't have the graphical power to create a game such as RE4, which is,
Yeah.
you know, and then when they finally got around to like, you know, full 3D rendering models and like, you know, clean, decent graphics, they since they were a Japanese studio, you know, they made their own characters and they decided, you know, make Leon an American.
Yeah.
So a lot of the jokes and a lot of like the goofiness was their misinterpretation
Oh really?
of America, like of how America is.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
That makes
Like-
a lot of sense. Yeah.
Like they tried to make it like an sort of like an action hero, but then like a lot of the goofy stuff, like when they translated it,
yeah.
it was just like that. Yeah, that did not hit as hard as what they were hoping.
That
for.
makes so much sense.
Like
Like
that's why there's so many cheesy lines because they are all the American heroes in the movies don't
Yeah.
turn their back to the explosions,
Yeah.
do backflips over chainsaws. Yeah,
That makes sense.
Usual stuff like that.
yeah.
So yeah, that's why the game was goofy, but at a surface level, the game wasn't intentionally meant to be goofy.
That's so funny. Yeah. Like. Oh my god! If you want to talk goofy, let's go back to Resident Evil 1, bro. The
God.
dialogue in that game is
Almost
insane.
became a Jill
A
sandwich.
Jill sandwich.
Yeah, man, I couldn't.
I love it. Like it's, it's so dumb, but it's part of
Very
the charm.
hell,
Oh,
Jill. Like
fuck.
Wesker would walk around the corner.
yeah.
Like, oh man.
That's good. I think the first game is like, it's a nice little package. Like it's fun start to finish. It's definitely
It's just a full, you know, solid classic
Yeah.
survival horror experience.
Yep. I personally don't have much experience with the original Resident Evil 2 and 3. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've played the originals.
No, well, I've done like a few emulators on my computer and whatnot, but I've never really finished them. But I've watched, you know, full walkthroughs and speedruns of both those
Yeah.
games,
Yep.
and just like all the Easter eggs and lore videos and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yep.
But yeah, no, Resident Evil 2 definitely one of the better titles.
Oh,
back in
100%.
that era.
Yep. And it's so funny. I think, I don't want to name drop here because I might be wrong, but I think it was Shinji Mikami. He wanted to can the series after 2. So he said,
Yeah.
because they took him on, again, I might be completely wrong with the name. It might be someone else.
Might be
Don't quote me.
professional yapping.
Yeah, don't quote me on that. But they brought him on for the second game, and he's like, okay, I'll do it, but this is the last one. We're gonna end it after this one.
Oh, actually speaking about like the development of RE2,
Yeah.
did you ever see Resident Evil 1.5?
I was just looking at that yesterday, bro.
And they had that chick in that
Yeah.
like motorbike uniform.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, that was like the big building blocks of full Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just never.
Yeah. I just watched a review on it. RE like 1.5 is such an odd game because they got like.
it's just like jumbled, just super jumbled.
Yeah, it's been salvaged now. I think you can play like a
Yeah.
almost complete version,
Yeah,
but they got like 90% of the way of
Like
programming.
developing in the game, yeah.
They just canned it.
Yeah.
That's something to look into. I think we should definitely talk about that in future because that's definitely interesting. But yeah, do you want to talk about Resident Evil 8 or the remakes first?
I want to talk about the remakes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think Resident Evil 2 Remake is the best Resident Evil game.
Really? That's interesting.
Period.
I was actually going to ask you, my next question was going to be...
What's your favourite Resident Evil 2 Remake?
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
my favourite Resident Evil game. I love
Let's
that
talk
game.
about it. Why is that your favourite?
Man,
Run me
it's
through
just,
it.
like, the atmosphere you're playing the game.
Mhm.
I had no idea what was, like, obviously I didn't play the original,
Yep.
so I can't really have that same nostalgic feeling.
Mhm.
But, running around the police station you're in, obviously.
Yep.
Anyway, you just hear these big footsteps, and oh my god, there's a massive fucking tyrant,
Yep.
following you out the whole game. That shit was spooky.
Yep.
And the lickers in the hallways and the zombies and shit. It was just like, oh my god, like this is like a full, complete horror experience.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I played it after 7, so like obviously in terms of graphics, it was,
Oh, the graphics were fantastic.
yeah, it was a bit of a step up. Resident Evil 7 looks amazing, but RE2 looks chef's kiss, bro.
I know.
And the sound design, holy
Everything
fuck!
about it, it's just
You play that game at night with a pair of headphones on, holy fuck, bro! You wish shitting bricks.
definitely.
Just like lurking around the corridors of the police station, and it's like the atmosphere is so good. It'll be raining, and the zombies will be banging on the window, and you have to board them up. And I think, I appreciate. I'm usually a hater for remakes, but RE2, bro.
That's what I'm saying. RE2 Remake just took everything the original did good and just made it 10 times better. And in a
Yeah.
modern sense, like completely overhauled the whole control system, which was definitely appreciated.
Yeah.
Considering I've never really grown up with tank controls either.
Yeah, I did see something interesting recently. I saw a guy, he said that RE2, the remake, would be so much better with a fixed camera. Like, if the controls stay the same, but with a fixed camera.
Interesting.
Because there's one, shot where you come out of a room, I think it's a locker room, and you come out, and then you turn around a corner, and there's a zombie, like, just standing at the end of the hallway. And he used mods or something, and he had the camera fixed up in the top corner, and you come out and bang, you're just looking straight at it. And I was like,
I
I think that'd be cool. But no, I get it. And I don't know. I don't really have many complaints with RE2.
like, both camera, positions both have their pros and cons.
Yep.
But fixed cameras themselves aren't bad, but I don't know, there's not really too many modern examples of fixed camera games these days.
No, I
A
can't
lot
think of
of
any.
the time they did fix cameras was because they can pre-render the background.
Yep, it's
And
saved a lot of money on budget.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Yep.
like, why do that when you can just make it all rendered the same?
Yeah, it would be interesting to see a fixed camera Resident Evil game, and I don't know. I think it can add to the like how scary it is. But no, no complaints with RE2. I think I would say the campaign might be a little bit too short, but I think we'll save that for the next game because that's a big issue with RE3. But no, honestly, RE2 is such a good game. But although I do have one issue, and it's
Go on.
the multiple campaigns, right? And I
Yeah.
know
You
they
do Leon A, Claire B, or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
I can't really get them into that. But my issue, I can't play. I played it twice, right? I played Leon and played Claire. And my issue is once you see something, it's only scary the first time. And I know they mixed it
yeah.
up a little bit because I think some of the items and events are changed slightly depending on which order you do them
definitely.
in.
Like, for example, the tyrant gets killed by William Burkham in Claire's main story, whereas you fight, that tyrant as Leon's campaign
Yep.
instead of the big William Burkham boss fight with the minigun,
Yeah. Yep.
which is good because that's why I like the game so much as well. Like, I do understand what you say the second time you play it. Obviously, it's not going to be as scary,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there definitely are new elements each time you get to play it.
Yeah.
So once you've done, Leon A, Claire B, you can do it the other way around as well.
No, I can appreciate it.
Replayability kept me coming back at least. Finish that game.
I do plan on coming back because we've had so many arguments about this. I used to prefer the RE3 remake, but I've recently had a change of opinion on it. But we're going to talk about that next.
Oh, I can't wait.
So
Please enlighten us on your old opinion.
okay, so I played this one before the Resident Evil 2 remake. And I just thought it was a nice, and I got it on sale as well. I think I only paid about $20 or so for it. And bro, honestly, I sat down for one weekend and I just smashed it out in the whole weekend. And I did all the the side stuff, like the extra missions. I can't remember what they're called.
Like,
The Last Survivor or whatever.
Yeah, like the DLC little dude. Little scenario
Yeah,
things.
just yeah. And I enjoyed it. And I thought it was a nice, like, tight little package. And I know some people have an issue with it being so short, because if you pay full price for it on release, then obviously, yeah, you're gonna be disappointed because it's only like a 5-hour game, I think, 5 or 6 hours.
If that.
Yeah, if you're quick, it's about that.
No, because I got that game when it first came out, full price, you know, $100.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. Just played RE2 remake. Like, let's play the next installment in the remake. You know,
Yeah.
shit
Saga?
they're doing. Yeah, Saga. Holy fuck! Are you telling me that like the RE2 remake was like you know, pretty much very faithful to the source material?
Yeah, spot
What
on,
the
I reckon.
fuck was going on with your boy Nemesis in that fucking game?
Yeah.
Like, he was pretty locked in at the start, like, you know, the whole movie cutscene essentially, where you just fucking press buttons every now and then,
Yeah, yep.
which is like pretty lame scripted event, to be fair, but it was cool the first time I did actually see it. But
Yeah.
no, then, you know, after that you have a few boss fights with him, and then he just mutates into a giant squib-dibbly or whatever the fuck.
Gobbledygook. Yeah.
And then you just one pump him with the stupid, like, what is it, like
The laser
fucking-
railgun.
Yeah, railgun. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this shit, bro?
How many boss fights are there? There's the one on it's the hotel, not the hotel. There's like the construction building.
Yeah, so you have the one on top of the roof where he's got the flamethrower.
Yep. Then there's the one with the
Where you're on the clock tower, and he's like,
Oh, yeah, that's
he's
what-
like
yeah.
running on the fucking walls and shit.
Yep.
After jumping out of the water.
And then is there one in between that and
Yeah, there's one in the scrap yard before he turns into the full like Nemesis wall, I guess is what you can call him.
yeah, yep.
Guess that matches the description. But yeah, no, you have like, I'm sure, I think there's another one, but I'm not remembering it. But yeah, you do have to fight him again in that like weird pit that you go down.
Yeah, with like all the what would you call them? Like the big
Like, there's like things you shoot. The
big
make him,
vats?
the zap.
Yeah.
Make him like fucking start running on the walls and stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, just completely not faithful to the original, which is fine. But it's like,
It's disappointing
how
after
is
2.
how can you go from Resident Evil 2 paying $100 and you get a full fucking experience?
Yep.
You know, somewhat faithful to the original, pretty well, pretty good. It's decent length, decent amount of content.
Yep.
Afterwards, you know, the bonuses, Lone Survivor, the Tofu, bloody DLC hunk and all that shit.
Yep.
And then yeah, you go to bloody RE3 and it's like what? Not even original, faithful to the original, and then it's just like done in like 5 hours.
Yeah.
So you tell me I paid $100 and they did way better beforehand. They just rushed the game out and it just made no sense.
Yeah.
And what Jill was like, used to be scared of Nemesis in the original. She was like, oh my god, like, no, don't kill Brad or whatever, you know. And then what? She just starts going like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, I'm a badass. It's like, what the fuck? It's meant to be scared of him. Like,
Didn't
why
you see they took the skirt off her, bro?
Oh my god, that mod is.
No, in the original she had like the skirt with like the thing, and then the new one she's got like jeans or whatever.
No. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah.
That's why she's not scared no more.
She's got jeans on. Not valid. But yeah, no, just very disappointed. Very, very disappointed when I played that. I mean, I like the game itself, like mechanics wise, graphics wise, all that.
Yeah, if you like 2, you're gonna like 3, but
yeah, it's just they could have done so much better with it. Less scripted events with Nemesis.
Oh,
More
yeah.
like, you know.
random encounters and
Yeah.
you know. They nailed it with Mr. X in RE2, but then
Yeah, definitely. And then they just.
they tried to replicate it, but they got rid of the good parts about Mr. X.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the game wasn't terrible, but you know, when you paying that much money and compare it to the original source material, like, you know, like a whole third of the game is cut out. Like, where's the clock tower?
Yeah, that's
Where's
it.
the whole other fights? You know,
Yeah,
all those puzzles, all that missed opportunity.
yeah. So the verdict is, if you can pick it up for cheap, grab it. If you
No,
like,
it's wrong.
if you like RE2, absolutely, you'll like RE3. But the issue is, you're paying the same for less content.
Essentially.
So yeah, if you bought it on release full price, I can understand why you'd be pissed. But if you get it for a bargain, then yeah, you'll enjoy it. because I did.
Yeah, well, my main point in conclusion is just very disappointing for the money you pay compared
Yeah,
to what
absolutely.
they previously have been able to produce.
Well, it was a
That
quick turnaround too, wasn't
shows
it?
they're capable. They just didn't. Yeah.
Like I think they smashed it out in a couple months
Oh,
because
definitely. Yeah, because after the success of 2, they just
they had to pump
hustled
out.
Yeah.
Well, the same assets, same engine, same
Oh,
everything.
yeah, like so many reused assets. Because when you're in the same like city, so it's like fair enough. But
Yeah, but I get it.
oh,
but-
I love going to the bloody RE2 game in the third
Yeah,
campaign.
you
Like
go to the-
cool
you go to the
plays
cop
Carlos
shop.
just go back to the same spot. The whole game RE2 is pretty much set in.
They just
Cool.
copy and paste it for
Dude,
like
just
an hour.
copy and pasted it, man. That's crazy.
Fuck. Yeah, look, if you're playing back to back, you might be disappointed, but
Although, real quickly, sorry about cutting you off.
Go
real
for it,
quickly, I did like when you play as Carlos and you interact with the building, and then when you play RE2, you see the effects. Of,
Oh,
like the,
yeah.
You know, when you blow the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
That, like Carlos did that. I like that. I like
yeah.
knowing that that's how that happened. It
Yep.
was just like, oh yeah.
I did appreciate
That's
that
a
as well.
Niche, nice way to incorporate that little side lore, I guess.
100%, yeah.
Pretty locked, but yeah. Other than that, not worth the money unless you can get it cheap.
That's it. Yeah, if you can get a discount, grab it, but you will be disappointed if you have to pay full price.
Oh, definitely.
Alright, so let's jump into Resident Evil Village.
Village, eh?
Yeah, we'll do Village.
Skipping RE4?
We'll come back
We'll
to
come
RE4.
back. Alright, we'll come back to that. Village.
Alright, so when
Interesting.
did you play it on release?
No, I waited a little bit.
So did I. I think I watched a
Yeah.
playthrough.
Like I watched a couple videos, like talking about what the game potentially could be about. Just like
Yeah,
like oh, this could be how the game is. Here's some like leaked spoilers and whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, when the game released, I watched a couple of videos about it, and yeah, it was a decent game. It had some really nice moments, some really scary moments, like the baby in the basement.
Oh, bro,
That
we'll
is
come
like-
back to that because
yeah.
holy fuck.
But overall, like I think they sort of missed the margin a little bit. I thought it was a good
Yeah.
game, but RE7's atmosphere and like the vibe they had going for that,
And the scares as well, bro.
the scares, and then they went to RE8, and it was just like not anywhere near as scary.
Oh, they had the same.
It's disappointing, but
So my thing is, they had the same problem going from 4 to 5 as they did with 7 and 8.
yeah, they just couldn't translate the same vibe.
Yeah,
of
they
the
tried.
game.
They tried to replicate it, but they lost some of the best qualities of the game before.
Literally.
So like, you look at RE4, and that's just a quality game. Everyone loves it. It's. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's scary. It's got its moments.
No, yeah, it definitely tries to be, but
Um,
yeah, look,
But then you move on to 5, and it's just turned up to 11. Everything's goofy. It's a joke, right? But then you got RE7 again, perfect game, complete package, whatever. Then you move on to the RE Village or RE8, whatever you want to call it. They did the same thing. They just dial it up, and they
just dial up like the fucking
action.
the action, like like what I'm a mech now, like am I
Yeah.
Pacific Rim Jaeger fighting Heisenberg from Breaking Bad, like yep, cool,
Yeah.
whatever. Just
Um,
got telekinetic powers as well.
yeah, and it's another thing that fucks me off. They tried to keep the resource management from RE7.
It's completely.
It's redundant.
I never had any issues with inventory management.
It's
in that
completely
game.
redundant because you can get upgrades,
Yeah,
and then you can carry pretty much everything in the kitchen sink.
everything you need, you don't even need to worry.
Exactly, and I
That many,
understand.
like times Duke, so yeah, like
Yeah.
Duke shows up that many times too.
Yep. So you're never far away from.
Upgrades and all that shit.
It's just like RE7 managed to replicate the original game, everything that was good about that into like a modern.
Yeah, it took in all the elements of the originals and cranked out this modernized like gem.
Pretty much, yeah. And then RE8 tried to fucking feed off that
Feed off its success and they got a
failed
bit lazy. But
miserably.
I got a bit lazy. I'm not gonna lie. I like the game. Don't get me wrong. Lady Demetress can't
Can't complain.
be caught simping about my how tall is he? What, like 10 foot? But yeah, nah. But yeah, kind of a silly story though. Like what your baby's head's in a jar. Like that was just like so odd. I mean, to be fair, it's not like a.
Well, we don't play up Resident Evil for the story. Nine
No,
times out of
definitely
10.
not.
Let's not kid ourselves.
I mean, yeah. Well, as I was gonna say before, like it wouldn't be a first time the Resident Evil series had just gone to like just silly fucking
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Yep.
Complete gobbledygook.
Yeah. Look, I didn't mind the story. I wish. So there's like 4 like bosses, I guess, and 4 main areas that you can travel to, and I wish it was more of a like a. I don't want to say open world, but you can like pick the order in which you do them.
Yeah. Okay. So
Like
instead of
Mega
being,
Man.
Like Mega Man.
like
Wow.
Mega Man's Capcom too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
you
like
go.
Mega Man.
Wow.
Yeah, because because the castle, Lady Dimitrescu, I enjoyed that because it did feel similar to like,
What we were kind of used to.
yeah, like the trapped in one location and like going through the corridors and hallways of this dilapidated building or whatever. But
Big
then,
mummy chasing you and type shit.
yeah, hey, look, hey, not complaining.
I'm not complaining.
But then after that, as soon as you get up to the boss, it jumps from fucking Resident Evil 1 to Resident Evil 6 with this. She turns into this giant dragon looking.
Dragon that she turned into.
Yeah,
it's like, really.
It's fucked. And then that's when it lost me. I think when it went from this cool like, okay, cool, we're kind of like doing the same thing as RE7. That's cool. Next minute you fucking
Next minute, yeah.
you got a sniper, cool. You're shooting down this dragon. It's like, okay, well now we're back to what we tried to get away from. Thanks, Capcom. Appreciate that.
Fantastic stuff.
And then
Nice
just
work.
from there, it's just on that same path. I think I can't remember which order it goes in. Is Heisenberg's last, isn't he?
Heisenberg is last, yeah.
And then it's
So you go Dimitrescu
Yep.
first, and then you go to the Fishman, and
yeah,
then you go to the Dollhouse,
yep, and then
you go to
Heisenberg.
Heisenberg,
Yeah.
and then you fight Mother Miranda.
Oh, that was a
Yeah,
fucking
bit of a hell
forgettable.
boss fight. Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but that fish motherfucker. There's just nothing exciting there.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember his name either. Like,
It is so forgettable. And then, bruh, the Dollhouse.
yeah, Dollhouse was fucking good.
That's the highlight of that
Had
game,
me
bro.
on my toes, if you will.
Holy fuck! Listen, I could forgive all of Resident Evil 8 if that section
Yeah, they
was
just
longer.
replicated that like eerie fucking
Yep.
environment that you know.
It's funny though. It feels very similar to like an indie game. Like is it the Mortuary's Assistant?
Oh yeah, the mortuary system.
It feels very similar to that. Hey, like you're
You're
wandering.
in like a little tiny little room.
Yep,
and
I'm trying to do this
just
puzzle and whatever.
Trying to do a puzzle on like a corpse on a table.
It feels very similar to that.
Yeah.
But bro, it's that whole section. I could forgive all of RE8, all its fuck ups, all of its gobbledygook, if that was just longer.
No, definitely, 100% agree.
If they somehow managed to stretch that out, I could forgive it. But then I don't know, it would feel like more of a drop off in tone.
No, yeah. I think Capcom just needs to get their priorities straight and just like stick with the horror theme, stick with the survival horror.
Yep.
Take a step back from the action.
If they do want to make an action game, go for it. Just don't like piggyback that off the Resident Evil IP.
Yeah,
That's what's
exactly.
weighing it
Like,
down.
Looking at the history of the games, which ones are the successful ones?
Yeah, exactly.
Resident Evil 2 Remake, which
Yep.
is the scary one.
Yep.
RE7, which is the scary one.
Yep.
Yeah, the original first three that were considered scary back then.
Yeah.
Like that original first cutscene with the zombie.
Yep.
That was like iconic for so long.
That's it.
Man, like, yeah.
But I think they just need to listen to the fans because the fans know what they want. And
Exactly,
but
like, you know, RE7 did so well, and then RE8 came out, and it was like, it was okay received, but did not get nearly as much praise as 7 did.
I also the section right towards the end, I think right before the final boss, you switch to Chris,
Yeah.
and you're just going around the whole village just
shooting them
shooting.
with your fucking
machine gun.
Bison. It was like, really? Alright,
Come on, bro,
yeah.
we've done this.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this shit again? We got away from it, and then the next game after that, we go straight back to it, and it's like, come on, Capcom, what are you doing? Quit playing with me.
No, literally.
But no, I think RE8's okay. I think it's as
Yeah.
much shit as I'm giving it. I think it's okay. If you're
giving it a rating, what would you give it? Like, you know,
oh fuck,
me personally, like, considering just the franchise itself,
yeah,
it's a bit of a letdown. It's not a bad game, but the way I'm kind of reviewing it is Resident Evil as the franchise. So in that, you know, with that bias in mind, I would give it maybe like a 6 out of 10.
I was thinking 6 as well.
Probably
Maybe
a bit
6.5.
too generous, but I reckon about 6.
It's fun on the replay though. Like, we give shit
those
to
like extra weapons and stuff.
yeah, we give shit to RE3 for being so short. Sorry. But then you go to RE8 and I can finish that game in like an hour because you can stack all like your unlocks and
Yeah,
the extra
and
weapons and
like
shit.
super overpowered.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I enjoy that. That's fun to me. But you know, there's only so many times you can replay the same
Post
game.
game content, I
Yeah.
suppose, if you will.
Yep.
Oh, but how? Did you play the Rose DLC where you play as the kid?
I didn't. I see.
I had some. Sorry, yeah.
I was okay. So I wanted to get into the DLC because there was an announcement that there was going to be a third person mode. So I finished the game, and then I didn't play it for a while, and then they announced there was going to be a third-person DLC,
Yeah.
and I got it. I did that, and I had all of the DLC because I got the season pass, and I just didn't play any of the other DLC. I just gave up. I couldn't be bothered.
You know what? Fair enough. Well, I tell you what, you're not really missing out too much.
Yeah.
Like it was okay. It had some tense moments, with the dolls moving in that one part,
Yeah.
and just you're defenseless a lot of the time, but it was a bit goofy. Like playing as Rose. Oh no, the Metamycetide or something.
Metamyces or whatever.
Yeah, Metamycete.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in your blood. You gotta go
Boo
fight
fucking
it, fight it in your own body. And it's like okay,
Yeah.
yep. And then your dad just gives you hints. Like, didn't that motherfucker crumble away and die? Like,
Yeah.
talking on Ethan, Mr. Winters.
Oh my god.
Can he keep his fucking hands on his body ever? Like,
Yeah.
what is that shit about?
Yeah.
He's getting stabbed with a screwdriver, chainsaw, then
Yep.
he gets strung up on a hook, rips his fucking hands going down.
Yeah.
And Demetrius slices his wrist.
That was a good scare
off.
though. When you're in the catacombs and then you put your hand up to pull the lever,
Pull the lever down and it's just
slices you. Oh,
straight
bro.
in half.
That
I
was a
like-
good scare.
I was like, yeah, damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, let's backpedal for a second.
Oh yeah. Remember the Jack Baker with the leg scene?
Yeah, bro. What
That shit
the
was
fuck?
fucking rough when I first saw that. I was like, holy shit.
RE7, bro. Okay. I need to go off a little tangent here because we're gonna be talking about this in another episode later.
No, definitely.
So RE7, it's so similar to like the Grindhouse horror films of like the 70s and 80s, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that's exactly what that movie feels. That game feels like. And I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
Because the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is easily in my top 5 favorite horror films, and it just everything about it reminds me. It's so disgusting. Like everything about it is
Yeah.
viscerally just disgusting. Like
you open
The fridge.
The game just gives you the option to open like pots and fridges,
microwaves.
And microwaves. It's
Yeah.
just like maggots and sludge. And
Yeah.
just like nice.
all the nasties. It's so gross, and I don't know. I love that, and it just
Yeah, it was watching your character like react verbally.
Yeah.
You're just like that's probably it.
and it looks good too.
It does look.
Like if the graphics and the engine wasn't as good as it was, it wouldn't be as effective. But because
The game looks insane.
yeah, it's bruh, it's disgusting, and I love it. And I do have one complaint about RE7, and it's probably the ending.
Yeah.
Like you gotta pick between Zoe and
Zoe or Mia.
yeah, and then that last boss fight. I can't. Who do you even fight? Is it
It's the kid.
Evelyn? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes all big. And you're in like the house and
Yeah.
she picks you up by like the leg and you just start shooting her. Yeah, that was a bit goofy the ending. I'm not gonna lie.
But to be fair, if you look at any Resident Evil game, even the good
it
ones,
just ends with a fucking like rocket launch to the face or something.
Yeah.
Like something stupid like that.
yeah. So I can't be too surprised. But
Yeah, it's gotta be on theme.
so yeah, okay. What's next? With
Alright, I got a topic.
yep.
RE9 or a remake of 5 or Code Veronica.
Okay, this is good. We've spoke about this
We did
previously,
speak about this previously.
briefly, so that's interesting. Okay, so I don't know. So here's my issue, right? If they
I
can
think the RE5 remake is
out the fucking window
until they can tone that those themes down a bit. If you know what I mean.
right?
But it won't be very well received socially. So. Oof.
Right, if they can manage to do an RE5 remake, and if they tone down the fucking extreme racism, I'd be happy to see it, right? Because I thoroughly enjoyed that game, and I wish they could. I wouldn't mind if they redid it with new engine, the new engine, the RE engine.
Yeah, the RE engine.
New graphics, new controls, because that will be overhauled as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing an RE5 remake. I highly doubt
Just
Capcom's
don't know-
going to touch
I don't know
it.
what they're gonna do with that. Yeah.
No. And with the RE9 though, my issue is I don't know where they're going to go from RE8.
That's my issue too. Like, I'm just like, I wasn't a massive fan of RE8 overall.
Yep.
And if they continue that, make it into a trilogy or whatever, it would just, I don't know, just not looking too forward to it if they
Yeah.
go along with that setting.
Yep. But if they can pull the tone from RE7, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. No, I'd be pretty happy with it too.
Keep pumping them out. If you want to keep going in the vein of RE7, go for it. I'll take 20 of
But
them.
also, I just thought of something. You know how I mentioned before that RE4 was goofy because of a mistranslation from American
yeah.
culture to English.
Yep.
Japanese, sorry. Maybe that's the same situation with RE5. Like they tried like
Yeah, actually,
mimicking like a city from South Africa, where where RE5 was set,
Yeah, okay.
and it was like it just came off that way because they just didn't really understand how to interpret it properly.
Yeah, I don't know who they had on the team. They might have had like a someone to consult about it or whatever, or maybe they just I don't know. It's obviously very
They just-
tone deaf.
It just seems that they just copied the stereotypes, and that's kind of what made the game. And it was like,
I would like to know how often that was talked about at the time of release, because like I said, I wasn't big on like the internet as they were coming out, and I know it didn't do too great in terms of reviews, but I would like to know how often that came up, like the races, whatever. I would like to know if that had any effect on the reviews at the time.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, I wish I was there back when the game first got released, and get all the critic reviews, see what they said then. Because obviously back then it's a bit different now. 2024 modern era, a lot of opinions changed up a bit. But yeah, so if they release that game in this 2024, I'm worried. I'm worried, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't really know what they're gonna do. How they're gonna reel that back in, but
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing, though. If they did choose to remake it, they would have to they'd have to change the story, or
they completely change some elements of the game. Like, completely overhaul the story.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it
Or-
might be good to see a revamped version, like a reimagined of it.
I would appreciate that, but honestly,
But
they could just remake it as is, change nothing.
just change nothing. Oh my god.
That'd be
Just
fun
make
to
the
see.
game look nicer and have like the better controls and all the other little like gameplay overhauls.
Yep. But yeah, Code Veronica would be nice. I don't know too much about the original. I've never played it.
All I can say is that it's hard.
I have heard that.
It's one of the more difficult original ones.
Yep.
It's got I'd be keen to see it for Code Veronica because it's got some interesting monster designs that I'd like to see less pixelated, and they've got like some pretty tense boss fights.
Mhm.
Like if you know the boss fight when you're in the back of the plane,
Oh,
first in the turret,
Mhm.
that would be sick to see. Like,
Yeah.
fully remastered.
100%.
Like considering how close quarters that fight is, like that would be insane to see with the new RE engine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a few other goofy things I would like to see, like Steve's whole character. Like, oh my god.
Oh, that's a joke.
It's meant to
Did
be
you
like
know?
Canadian, bro?
I got some trivia for you. Did you know that depending on which console you play on, his haircut's different?
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, no.
What the fuck?
Like that's so irrelevant, but yeah, no, I've never seen that. I can't remember the reason, but
No, I don't know either, because I think is it the Dreamcast, the PlayStation 2, or the PS1,
yeah, something like
and then the N64s?
that. Yeah.
He has a different haircut in every game, and I have no idea why. And it's the only thing they changed about it, depending on the console, and it's so odd.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit surprising for no apparent reason whatsoever.
I don't know if they ever released an answer why, but
A bit of
there you
research,
go.
but yeah.
Fuck, we dead.
But no, like in conclusion, I think out of those three options, out of a Resident Evil 9, 5 remake or a Code Veronica remake, I think a Code Veronica remake would be the better option out of those three.
I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Unless they do go the Resident Evil 9 option,
Mhm.
and then I want to see some early trailer stuff first before I make an opinion. But as of
Yeah.
now, I'd be pretty keen for a Code Veronica remake.
Yeah. Well, if they do decide to continue with the remakes, do you think they'll just skip 5 and just jump straight into 6?
I don't know what they're gonna do with 6 because 6 is already still pretty modern.
But
the game itself doesn't need to be remastered. They should just make a different game.
Well, I mean, both Last of Us games have just been remastered, and they came out before.
Yeah, but Resident Evil 6 just didn't be as well received. I don't really see
That's
why
true.
they would even bother.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what if they just decided to one day remake? I don't know, like.
Well, 5 sold
Whatever game.
incredibly well. I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah, no, 5 did sell.
I was shocked. I saw the other day. It sold I think it might have been the highest selling. Mate, I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Wow.
But it was one of the top selling Resident Evil games,
There you go.
and then 6 dropped off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Out of 5 or 6, I'd much rather see an RE5 remake, and then for them just to drop 6.
I just don't know what they're gonna do differently because like, you know, the difference between RE2 and RE2 remake is significant. But it's
Yeah.
like, what are they even gonna change for RE6?
Yeah, I don't know, because
Like-
6 is very cinematic.
Yeah, like the game looks okay already. Like it already looks fine. Like,
Yeah.
like change the graphics, but like it's not the graphics for me. It's just the actual like
They'd have to
story.
overhaul the whole game.
overhaul the controls. That running, why does the camera go
yeah.
so low to the ground? I thought that was really stupid, and it like
Yeah.
locks you into like one way pretty much, and just trying to turn. It's
Yep.
like so slow,
Hmm. And that's okay.
very very jumbled, if you will.
Yeah, in my
Janky.
dream world, if they did RE6 again, it would be to streamline one campaign instead of what is it, like 3 plus 8ers campaign.
Yeah, 3 plus 8s.
If they just streamlined it into one campaign, I don't give a fuck who I play as. Just one player would be swell. Would be good.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, stop the individual campaigns and just kind of make it like a. I don't know. How would you do that? Like one main character for the whole. Run?
Well, because the thing is,
or like different like chapters and arcs where you know
I don't
you take
know.
control of someone else for a bit.
Well, because in RE6, even though you play as 3 different characters, it's all the same locations.
It's the same fucking story.
Just in different order.
Just in different, yeah, you just watching the sequences
And then like you bump into the other characters, and it's like, okay, I've seen this before.
Leon's campaign, wow.
Yeah, so they could trim all the fat and just pick one. Probably have to be Leon.
Oh, definitely, he was the most well received campaign out of the 3.
Yeah, and it'd be nice. It'd be nice to follow up after the 4 remake.
Yeah.
So just trim all the fat. Just play as Leon, or even probably not Jay. Get rid of Jay. He's a fucking waste of a
actually
character,
cares?
bro.
Who's his mum, bro? Like, who does he get silly with?
Who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
Just
Next question.
stick to Leon.
Stick to Leon.
Trim all the fat, and then okay, maybe you'll bump into other characters, and maybe you'll switch characters every now and then, because that's what the first Revelations game did.
Yeah.
You played as Jill at start to finish, but then every couple chapters you'd swap to another character
Yeah.
and do like one episode or whatever.
Just like almost random. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could probably double the length of the game if you just combine all of the what's it called stories into one.
Yeah, make it like one unfolding story instead of just episodic
Yeah, because most of them
arcs, I guess.
they run parallel.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Sherry and Jake's is slightly different because they
But theirs is they've got their own like sections, but Chris and Leon's campaigns are pretty intertwined.
they're pretty similar. Yeah,
So they obviously all come together at some stage, but like you know,
Yeah.
especially it's very noticeable with Jake and Sherry's campaign because
yeah.
like you know you're both in the same like city with Chris and Leon,
Mhm.
and then you fight. What is it? Which boss? The one that you fight Chris and Leon, and it's like that like scrapyard where like those containers are.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
whatever boss that was.
yeah.
But like you know, but then you go to like Jake and Sherry's campaign,
Mhm.
and it's like you're in like you crashed a plane in the snow.
In like the Alps or
And
whatever
you
the
just
fuck. Yeah.
walk around the snow for ages and trying to find where to go. And it was just like, okay, now I'm in Russia, I think it was.
Yeah,
Or-
something. No, I think you went to an it was an Asian country. I think it might have been China, because they all end up in there.
Yeah,
the,
like that.
The bombs
yeah,
go off there. Or
where
whatever.
when you first encountered the big fucking USSR tank motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole like area was just like, oh, okay, yep, cool. We in China now, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, look, 5 and 6, bit of a
Mess.
interesting topic, if you will.
Well,
I
okay.
don't really know what they're gonna do.
What they might do, and Ubisoft just did this. They I don't know if it's a remake or remaster, but they redid Assassin's Creed 3. Did you see that? And they included Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Oh yeah, a little like side story.
Yeah, they just included it in, and I think I'd be happy with that if they.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if they just like made like for example just
Just a remaster.
of like any of them and just included like 5 and imagine 5 and 6 in like a combo pack.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think that might
That
be
would
how
be
they end
dumb.
up tackling 5,
Yeah.
just so they don't have to touch it.
I don't think they would do what I just suggested, obviously, because money reasons. Like,
Yeah.
you're selling like 2 big releases you could make like individual sales for.
Oh well, yeah, they are money hungry, fucking, monsters. So they will end up remaking them.
Although I dare say Capcom, I reckon, is one of the better studios that actually puts a lot of time and care into their games. Usually, looking at you, RE3, but
Looking at here, Ari Village.
yeah, literally no, but like not to like get off topic, but like Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
Man, what a good looking game.
I can't get across Devil May, but I know it looks
is
fantastic.
Goofy, like RE4.
Yeah.
It's got that same tones.
Yep. No, I'll give it to him. Devil May Cry looks amazing.
Game look, yeah. Anyways, before we get sidetracked, back
Yeah.
onto RE.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. I got two questions. We'll start with one. So what's your most favorite and least favorite out of the entire franchise?
Interesting. Well, obviously RE2 remake, my all-time favorite. Can't go wrong with that. It just hits all the spots. It's like a perfect. When you think of Resident Evil, you think of survival horror, right?
Yep.
It perfectly encapsulates exactly what I think an RE game should be like. No boulder
No
punching
fluff,
is
bro.
Chris and fucking goofy spin kicks and shit. Like it's just like this is exactly how I would think good, solid, bare to the bones RE experience should be like.
100%.
That's why I like it so much. So that's going to be number one for sure.
Okay.
I feel like it perfectly encapsulates the soul of Resident Evil, if you will.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Like the original inspiration for the whole series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it out Resident Evil's the original?
Definitely not. That mansion. That's
so
that
good.
is like peak Resident Evil. Like you're in a mansion that was designed to trap people and then kill them. Like that's crazy.
All right. So what's your least favorite then?
My least favorite.
Or do you want me to do my favorite first?
Yeah. You do your favorite first.
Okay. So I was gonna say RE2 as well, but I think RE7 is just a tighter. Seven's
It's
so
good. It's good.
It's close though. I think RE2 and RE7 are very, very similar. They're very close in terms of quality. I think RE7 just pushes it just a little bit because they were trying something different, and it was a big risk, and I think it paid off. But with RE2, they were just playing it safe. However, RE2 was fucking good. I don't want to take away from RE2. RE2 remake is so good.
Yeah, and I know what you mean. Like, RE2 was like bare to its bones, back to its roots.
Yeah.
Whereas RE7 took a risk, but that risk fucking turned out good. I'll tell you what.
They did pay off, yeah.
Yeah. New things aren't bad all the time.
Yeah, that's it.
If done, executed well, it can be a bit of a banger,
Yeah.
if you will.
Alright, so let's go with your least favourite. What do you got?
It's hard, man. Like, the one I just despised playing was probably Revelations 2. I just did not enjoy that. Like, I was
Yeah.
just like, you're in the prison, and then you have to like activate that fire trap, and it was just like so unengaging. And I was just like, this is like an indie game. Is this like a AAA title, right?
Yeah, I don't know where the
Like,
budget was
just-
for that fucking game.
Yeah, like the budget just felt non-existent. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but you just like like it feels like a Roblox game. Like it's just like they
That's pretty good.
put a background there,
Yeah.
and then you're just running around. It's just empty. Like I
Yeah.
remember searching like crevices and every corner. There's just nothing.
It does
It's
feel
just-
pretty lifeless.
There's like a random open world, like one of those like DayZ kind of like environment that you're running around doing
Yeah.
fuck all, and it's like okay, like then and it's also a linear story.
Yeah.
Linear.
Don't even get me started on the fucking episodic bullshit.
It's just not a good time for me.
Nah, and another thing, I did see recently, I watched a review on Rev 2, and they were saying how, I think it's multiplayer, but only in split screen.
That's goofy.
And they said it would be so much better if it was multiplayer but online. So, because obviously you've got, is it Claire and Moira?
Yeah, Claire and Moira.
And then you got
Like
Barry,
Barry's kid or whatever.
and then who the fuck's
Oh,
that?
that random girl.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I can't actually remember.
Oh, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Clearly, we are very big fans of that game.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be cool if you could, one person plays as Claire and other plays as Moira. But the fucking Moira and that little girl, they have nothing. They search for items.
They don't. Yeah, it's boring.
I wouldn't want to sit down and play split screen if all I can do is hold a flashlight.
Flashlight. Like,
Come
are you
on,
fucking
bro.
kidding me? Yeah, It's just. It was just nothing. So
Yeah.
forgettable. Just whatever.
Yeah,
Completely.
I agree.
Also, I've just realised we've completely skipped over one I actually don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 0. Let's talk about that.
Okay, yeah, cool. All right.
I know it gets a lot of flack for being a bit hard and not the best, but I didn't
Yeah.
mind it.
I thought it was
didn't
pretty
mind it.
alright.
I thoroughly enjoyed Resident Evil 0.
Yep.
Can't believe we just almost glazed over that.
Yeah. Well, we also missed the first Resident Evil remake.
Yeah, fair enough, but I feel like that is just more like a remaster than a remake. It's very true.
Well, they did add a fair bit of
They
content.
did actually. That's my bad. I take back that statement. Never mind. But yeah, it's
Also,
been a
just
while
quietly, but just quickly, I prefer the original to the remake of Resident Evil 1, but we'll keep that a secret. Don't worry about it.
since- Keep it under wraps for now. Yeah, fair enough though. But
Resident Evil 0, bro. It's interesting because that, I think it came out straight after the remake of the original,
yeah,
and then nowadays it's always bundled together with the original remake.
actually, you know what's insane about the Resident Evil original remake
Yeah.
is that the game still looks fantastic.
I know, bro. Holy fuck.
And when did it come out? Right.
It was on the GameCube, so it would have been early 2000s.
And the game still holds up to this day.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
I think it came out close to RE4. I don't know if it was before or after.
2002.
Fuck, was that that's before RE4 then, isn't it?
Sure is.
Holy fuck, bro.
Yep. I think Resident Evil 4 came out like 2006 or 4.
I think it's 2004. I think it's as old as me.
Yeah, no, like the game for a 2001 title that you could play on the fucking GameCube.
That's
the game
insane.
still holds up to this day.
Yep. Like obviously it's got like a HD like boost and whatever.
Oh, yeah, like performance, like a slight visual resolution upgrade and whatever. But
bro, it's so good.
that's what I was saying before about fixed camera angles. It's
Yeah.
like if you, that's why the game looks good because they didn't have to worry too much about the background. They just uploaded pretty high res.
And but it does benefit
for
from
the
that.
background and the game. Yeah,
Because obviously they've got a bigger budget, so they could pump. You know, they had the fucking the ground laid out for them, like the script, the fucking story, all that already done, and then they just went over and would have done some backgrounds and character models, and that's it.
literally.
And obviously they added a fair bit more content, but
Okay, but like Lisa Trevor.
yuck, bro. Holy fuck! All right, we've got to my second question,
Okay.
and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so do you have a favorite and least favorite BOW design or encounter or whatever you want to call it?
Like, just what I think is like the best like monster
Yeah,
encounters.
yeah.
Oh man, like I really liked RE4 Menendez
Yeah.
when his spine he would
Yes.
go up and his spine would be. I thought that was so sick. I
was
think that's my
fucked.
favorite BOW design.
Yeah,
is
that's
that boss
pretty
fight
good.
in the remake too? He looks fantastic.
Yep, I agree.
That's gotta be mine for definitely.
Fuck.
I just he's got that fedora wearing energy as well.
Oh, fuck, that's tough to compete with. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this might be such a normie pick, bro, but I'm gonna say William Birkin in obviously the original RE2 because I think they're different. The original RE2 and the remake
They do look different.
are
Yes.
just slightly different, yeah. And I think
Depending on the ending as well, it does look a bit different.
and I think I prefer the original to the remake. Also, a quick shout out to Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Don't know if you ever played that. Not great. We're gonna leave it at that.
Goofy.
Not great. And yeah, I think that's probably gonna do us for time. We've almost hit an hour.
Yikes.
No, that's good.
That went quick.
That's good, bro. We've been yapping.
Yapping about Resident Evil, man.
Yeah, bro. All right. So next week, don't know what we're gonna do. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Riley Couldry.
Oh, thank you for having me on the show, man.
No dramas, boss. This is now your podcast, buddy.
Fantastic. I hope you stick around for a lot longer.
Yeah, sweet as. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Yeah, we're on YouTube and Spotify, so come check us out on there. Yeah, we'll see you later.
Shout out Shivers Podcast.
Yoo-hoo! All right, see you guys.
See ya.